So, when we bought our trailer, one of the questions I asked was how we winterize the water system, because this thing has a water system. So this is the Timberleaf Classic. The Timberleaf Classic has water. The other two Timberleaf trailers that they sell don't have water on board, so this one does. So you got to have a way to winterize this. We live in an area where it gets really cold in the wintertime. And so I asked Alex when we were doing our orientation how to winterize the system. And his answer was to dump antifreeze in the tank, drain the water out, pump the water out, put antifreeze in the tank, put a couple of gallons of antifreeze in there, and then pump it until you get antifreeze coming out of the faucet. Well, and that's good, but that's not what I wanted to do. I don't want to put antifreeze in my water tank. When I got to looking at the antifreeze, and I have two different kinds here that I have. This one has ethylene glycol for an antifreeze. This one has alcohol. So depending on what you want, of course, I'd rather have the alcohol in there than the ethylene glycol. But I don't really want to put either one of those in my tank of water if I can avoid it. So in thinking about this, I came up with this solution that I'm going to do, and I'll show it to you when it's all done. But I bought all the parts that I still need to assemble, and I'll put links on in the description of this video on all the parts that I bought. But probably there may be other different ways of doing this, but the way I selected to solve this problem was to do this. So I've got two valves, a T, and a bunch of hose clamps, and a cap. These are caps, and it should make things a lot easier to suck up the antifreeze without having to put antifreeze in the tank. I really don't want to put antifreeze in the tank, so and this way I can totally avoid it. So this is what we're going to do. Now I bought some of this. This is 1/2-inch reinforced tubing that all the plumbing underneath is the same stuff. 1/2-inch tubing I bought in when I was over in Quincy the other day, and at the hardware store they sell it by the foot, and I short-sightedly only bought 1 foot. I should have bought a couple of feet of it, but now I'll have to get some more because I'm not going to have enough to do everything I want to do. I can have enough to plumb it, but I still want enough so I can drop a hose down inside one of these jugs of antifreeze to suck it up to get antifreeze coming out of my faucet. Okay, this is what it looks like when it comes from the Timberleaf people. There's actually a slight uphill slope to this, so probably have to jack the front of the trailer up pretty high to get it to drain good. But this is the way it comes from the manufacturer, and goes up through here and goes to the pump. So we're going to modify this system. So here's what I did. I came out of here and put a valve so I can turn off the tank right here. Turn off the tank. So it's a 1/4 turn valve. This is also a 1/4 turn valve so I can suck up antifreeze. When I'm done with this, I have I'm going to pull this off and put a little nipple on here with the cap on it. And then I'm just going to turn this so that everything's tucked up underneath. This thing actually pivots pretty good, so I can turn it so that I can suck antifreeze up, and it's pivoting right here, which probably means that hose clamp's not really as tight as it needs to be. But if it's not leaking, the old adage, if it's not broke, don't fix it, that kind of applies here. So anyway, this is what I've got for sucking up antifreeze. So let's see how it works. This is the tank of water is pretty empty. I didn't have very little water left in it, so there's no water in this hose. But when I get done with sucking up the antifreeze in this line here that goes all the way up, I'm going to insulate all of this with pipe insulation. I've got foam pipe insulation to put on this so that when I do go camping in the cold, this doesn't freeze on me, because there won't be antifreeze in this when we're camping, just when it's sitting here at the house. Okay, that was a success. I had a longer hose on this. This hose here I put on there, and I just put this little short one on here to have a cap on it so that it stays, keep dirt from getting in there. And you can see that the antifreeze is through the pipe and all the way up. So next step is to insulate this, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. So there's the finished product. This actually can pivot if I have to. It was able to pivot when I filled it up, but you know, either way, even if it doesn't pivot, at least it's tucked up there. It's tucked up high enough where it's not going to catch on stuff. This is an off-road trailer, and believe me, this is going to be going off-road. So having this all tucked up under here is definitely the way to have it. So this is the end product. When we have antifreeze in it, this insulation isn't really necessary. But when we're actually camping, and we do camp quite frequently where it gets down in the low 20s at night, and this type of insulation is actually good for keeping it from freezing. When it's low 20s, it can handle. If it gets much colder than that, we're probably not going to be camping anyway. But at any rate, this is the final product, and I really like to see Timberleaf maybe come up with they can probably come up with a better solution than this. There's wood here where something could be mounted. I mean, there's probably different solutions to this, but being able to drain your tank and also to fill it up with antifreeze when necessary is kind of important to us, and so that's what we want. And we didn't want to put the antifreeze in the tank, so this way we can get around it. Right now it's all full all the way through the pump, and it's not going to freeze. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not bad-mouthing Timberleaf. They make a quality product. That trailer is quality all the way through. I just like it if they would make it easier to do the antifreeze without having to dump it in your water tank. That would be nice. So Timberleaf, you're great. Don't get me wrong.